One community is expected to decide the electoral outcome of a Malaysian state election. This weekend, all eyes are on Negeri Sembilan, where Indian voters may determine whether Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim keeps his grip on power. But this story isn't just about an election. It's about colonial history, Hindu temples, Sikh policemen, Tamil migrants, and the making of modern multicultural Malaysia. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand why nearly 3 million Malaysian Indians have become one of the country's most influential political communities. Negeri Sembilan goes to the polls on Saturday, that's tomorrow. At a first glance, it looks like just another state election. But look closer. In 11 constituencies, Indians make up to more than 20% of voters. The ruling Pakatan Harapan coalition currently holds 9 of these seats. In the last election in 2023, Pakatan Harapan estimated it received over 80% of the Indian vote, helping it win 17 of the state's 36 seats. Now that support is no longer guaranteed, and that's why this election has become one of the biggest political tests for Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Here is where the story becomes interesting. Anwar Ibrahim apologized to Indian community after referring to certain temples built on disputed land as Kuil Haram, literally illegal temples. Speaking in Serem Aban, he admitted the phrase was wrong. He said that once he realized the impact of these words, he apologized. Why does this election matter? Because elections are often won or lost on trust. And after Pakatan Harapan's disappointing performance in the neighboring Johor state election, every vote matters, especially Indian votes. Pakatan Harapan isn't the only coalition chasing Indian support. Barisan Nasional, despite governing with Pakatan at the federal level, is making its own appeal. Its chairman and Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi has promised 2 members of the State Executive Council from the Indian community if Barisan Nasional forms the government. Meanwhile, the opposition coalition Perikatan Nasional is fielding a candidate from the Malaysian Indian People's Party in Lukut, a constituency where Indians account for around 27% of voters. That means every major bloc is competing for the same electorate. That tells you something important. The Indian vote is no longer taken for granted. To understand today's politics, you have to understand history. Malaysian Indians make up to roughly 9% of Malaysia's population, or about 2.7 to 2.8 million people. Most are Tamils whose ancestors came from southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu. Many people assume they all arrived during the British rule. That's only partly true. Tamil traders had been visiting the Malaya Peninsula for centuries, but it was the British Empire that transformed migration on a massive scale. Thousands of Indians were brought to build railways, work on rubber plantations, and serve in the colonial administration. Their labor helped build a modern Malaysia, a Muslim majority country. One chapter is often overlooked, the story of Sikhs. Beginning in 1870s, Sikhs migrated from Punjab to serve in colonial police force. The British trusted them to police territories stretching across the empire. Over time, Sikhs became especially respected civil servants, military officers, lawyers, and politicians. Today, there are around 80,000 Sikhs in Malaysia. That's less than 1/4 of 1% of the population. Yet Malaysia has had Sikh cabinet ministers, including Govind Singh Deo and Ram Kripal Singh. It's a reminder that political influence isn't always measured by numbers and is a symbol of Malaysia's multicultural experiment. After independence, Malaysia's first Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman built a coalition that included Malay, Chinese, and Indian political parties. The idea was simple. National building required cooperation and not domination. This alliance eventually became Barisan Nasional, which governed Malaysia for more than 6 decades. Although ethnic tensions emerged after the 1969 riots, Malaysia also developed institutions promoting coexistence. One example is the Malaysian Consultative Council for Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Sikhism, and Taoism, which has worked for decades to encourage interfaith dialogue. Malaysia's story has never been without challenges, but it has also produced remarkable examples of multiculturalism. Perhaps nothing tells the Malaysian story better than Batu Caves near Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. In 1891, the Tamil merchant K. Thaipusam Pillai established the shrine dedicated to Lord Murugan. Today, it's home to world's tallest statue of Murugan. Every year, hundreds of thousands of devotees climb 272 steps during Thaipusam. Malaysia's founding Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman visited Batu Caves during Thaipusam in 1959. His successor recognized Thaipusam as a national festival. The temple isn't simply a religious site, it symbolizes how Indian heritage became part of Malaysian national identity. So when people talk about the Negeri Sembilan election, they're talking about much more than who wins a state election. They're talking about whether one of Southeast Asia's most diverse societies can continue balancing ethnicity, religion, and democracy. Indian voters may decide the outcome, but their story began centuries before this election. It began with traders, continued with colonial migration, expanded through public service, and today shapes Malaysian politics itself. Whether Anwar Ibrahim retains support or loses ground, one message is already clear. Malaysian Indians are no longer just part of Malaysia's history. They are central to its political future. If you enjoy in-depth stories like these, connecting history, politics, and culture across Asia and the world, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and comment on what you think. Will Indian voters determine the outcome in Negeri Sembilan? And what does this election tell us about multicultural democracy in Malaysia? Do let me know in the comments. Thank you and bye-bye for now.